Welcome to part 2 of Illusion of Gaia, and we are off to the castle.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz?
Not this case.
So this is the main map.
If in a manner of speaking, there's really no overworld or anything like that. You just pick the next destination you go to from a list, and even then, you're kind of limited in where you can go at any given time.
So is this game linear in that case?
In a sense, yeah. You can go back to previous maps, but you really don't want to, because if you forget something, if you miss like a red jewel or something, going back far is going to be a bitch. And at some point, you'll reach points of no return.
You shall not pass!
Now, I forgot exactly where it was at first, but I remember that one of the only red jewel in the castle itself is hidden behind a column. So I start walking around here and I check here. They hired a hunter. That's never a good sign.
Is it Boba Fett?
Or maybe Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Samus? Does Samus master time travel?
If you try to talk to somebody behind that column, they'll tell you to keep quiet and they'll give you a red jewel. So that's the only red jewel in the castle. So after that, you don't have to worry about any others. Oh, I love this.
She loves the night? Or is she talking to a pseudo?
No, poor girl.
No, that's a guard. It's a guard that's very shy. Oh, and I love this. This princess knows how to run the guards around.
Ah, she's the classy kinds.
Yeah, she's kind of a bit of a tsundere. Acts like a bitch, but she definitely has a heart of gold on the inside. But she basically threatens to tell everyone that guard's nickname, which you'll find out later on.
Can't be worse than Von Queep.
No, it's not that bad, but it gets there. You'll find out later.
The king turned out. The king doesn't stop calling himself master for some reason.
Now,
super speed.
Yeah, if you talk to the guard when you're supposed to leave, he'll literally fling you all the way across the bridge.
Wow.
Yeah, like part of that was me running, but most of that was the guard flinging you down the bridge. All right, now we can finally talk to the king. Of course, I talked to every freaking soldier. They all say the same thing, though. Basically, just keep your wits about you. You talk to the queen. She doesn't really say much to you because she's saying, "Go talk to the king." Now, here's the sad part: you don't have the ring. So whether you say yes or no, you're going to get it. This is going to happen. You're not getting out of this. So basically, you have to get thrown in prison.
Much like almost every RPG set in the Middle Ages.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Did you say mom?
I'm getting Chrono Trigger flashbacks now.
In a way, yeah. There's no trial either.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
At the very least, a kangaroo trial is still a trial.
Yeah. And you can explore all the different aspects of the prison and everything like that. I think you're actually supposed to check a certain amount of items before you can progress. I may be wrong about that. I don't know if it's just waiting a certain amount of time. I've never really...
It sounds like something a game would do. Just you have to examine X amount of objects, then X thing will happen. Or Y thing will happen.
Right.
Hey, Will came in like a... Hey! Will came in kind of like a wrecking ball.
Oh, fuck you! But yeah, after you check enough, the guard will toss you some dry bread for you to eat, and then you just have to wait a little bit. And then from here, you just have to wait a little bit. I know from here, once you get the bread, the story will kind of progress on its own. You just sit there and wait until you fall asleep, and then the weirdness begins. As the flute that he's been carrying around, that flute on his back, yes, it is a flute. The flute talks to you, and it's your dad.
We sure it's a flute, not a sonic screwdriver?
I'm positive it does not give that buzzing noise.
By the way, on the wrecking ball joke, be thankful it's not Hulk Hogan.
God damn it, Matty!
Stop putting bad images in our heads.
No, and this coming from the troll is telling you that.
Yes, will you stop?
Anyway, oh yeah, also that jewel there, you have to use the telekinesis to get it. That's kind of what that is teaching, is that you can grab collectibles using your flute, using your telekinesis.
That's a nice little bit of using a tutorial in the beginning of the game to teach you something later.
Exactly, and you will come across those jewels. If you get 100 of those jewels, like those are the big one that you saw there is worth 5, and there's little ones worth 1. If you get 100 points, you'll get an extra life, so you won't go as far back if you die.
Oh, so this game still runs on a life system.
Kind of, sort of.
Did I just
My God.
Yep, there's the pig.
Oh, wait, no, there's Harry Plopper.
And this is a smart pig because it's got a letter from your princess and a key to the prison cell.
But.
And the princess talks about how she's in her own kind of prison, which is kind of true. That's kind of one of the themes of this is exploration and freedom.
Kind of epic little slow text for a key.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, as Rue said, you have the key. Open the door.
Da 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 da.
Now, and here's the thing: you have to go into the menu, select the key, and then hit the B button in order to use it. You can't just automatically use it, which sign of its age. Now we're gonna find out what's going on in that portal there, because you see another one's popped up here. Welcome to the dark space.
It's almost like its own TARDIS because it's bigger on the inside.
Indeed, and that is Gaia. Basically, giant floating head. All you need is a tube, and you got Zordon. In 4 ways in 1.
Where's my power morpher? Where's my power morpher?
Well, we'll be morphing later on.
There are actually 2 Gaias in this game, Gaia and Dark Gaia. This guy is the good guy. And this guy's job will be to save your progress and occasionally give you advice and let you know about upcoming gameplay changes. Now, as a little joke, you can actually go in here and open this cell and talk to the guard here, and he's like, I don't need any help.
Fine.
We ain't found shit.
And with that, we now enter, after I check these for nothing, there's nothing in there. We are now heading into our first dungeon of the game, the underground prison. You kind of missed this earlier, but Will's grandfather actually built this prison.
Yep, he built it as a maze, and he does feel bad about it, at least.
Yeah. Now, little mechanic of this game. You want to kill every enemy in the room. There will always be a set amount of enemies. They don't respawn. And if you kill all of them, you will get basically a status increase, whether it be your health, your attack, or your defense.
So you actually get an incentive to kill all the enemies,
exactly.
other than you just get to move forward.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll have to kill a certain enemy to access later parts of the dungeon, but you still want to go out of your way to kill as many every baddie you find, because if you kill everyone in the room, you will be able to get a status increase. Basically, it's the only way you can level up in this game. There's no experience points. It's just kill all the bad guys and you'll get an increase.
At least it's something.
Yeah, and you see here, by destroying that particular thing, it opens up this pathway so I can kill this skeleton bastard.
Oh, interesting.
Also, Will, still a better Batman than George Clooney.
and in case you're curious, yes, your weapon for Will is the flute.
It's the world's most deadliest flute.
It is indeed.
It's the world's most dangerous man with a musical instrument. Second, if you count the second Doctor.
But don't fret, we'll actually get some cooler abilities later on once we get to the next dark space portal. It'll be a little while before we see that, and just so you know, there are red jewels in this stage. There are 3 of them in this dungeon. So you want to make sure you know where they are to get them. I'll show you. I do show them off in here, so you will see them.
And you are going for a complete 100% playthrough.
Pretty much. I'm going to try to anyway.
Good luck with that.
Now,
shit! It's Navi. Run!
Kind of, sort of, but not nearly as annoying. I promise you.
Oh, thank God.
So if you saw there, I accidentally hit her. And yes, it is a girl. When I swung there, and there's at one point where I try to attack, and she tries to talk to me. I think it's like right about here, right there. It's not important. It's just letting you know to follow that she's going on ahead to follow her. We'll see her in a little bit.
Although let's say for the record that Navi is not annoying as people make it out to be.
Oh no, granted, V I think is worse than Navi is.
Mm-hmm.
Collecting more red jewels, killing more enemies.
Mm-hmm.
First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Yeah. And all right, that chest has an herb. Those are your only real healing items in the entire game, and there are a limited amount of them.
So that's where Capcom got it from.
And
I hate those cockroaches.
There are a limited amount of herbs in the game. There are only so many of them. You do not have an unlimited amount.
And you can't buy them.
there's like a couple that you can buy, but there's no stores that sell an unlimited amount of them. So you definitely want to make sure you kill the enemies and get those health level ups, because those will refill your health. Occasionally enemies will drop a health restore, but very rarely. You do not count on it.
Most of them seem to be dropping.
Oh crap! Run!
Yeah, most of them don't seem to be dropping health. Instead, it's just seem to be dropping. I'm guessing that's the money for this game. Not
really. No, there's no actual currency in this game. The only thing you're going to be picking up are those dark jewels, which give you the extra lives. Occasionally, you'll find a glowing one that's going to give you 5 health points, but they come very rarely. And you can see I'm already low on health as it is. But thankfully, I don't need to get a health restore. I'm actually doing pretty good here. The only other time you can refill your health is if you find a dark space, because Gaia will refill your health automatically at each dark space. So if you're running low on health and you don't want to waste your herbs, find the nearby dark space. Also, you have to jump onto that switch. You can't just hit it. It's rusted.
Ah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, another red
Spirit
jewel.
here tells you about getting the 100 gems to increase your to give you an extra life.
And where are we going from here?
We got basically a mini boss. I think that's the only brown bat in the entire game, as far as I remember. And just in time, I get a health power up. I'm going to head on this in here. Now we're going to see that Dandelion hides in the flower there. Now it tells you to fly the flower. Now here's a little trick: don't play it right next to the flower. You actually want to go to the other side of the room, because that other button next to them, useless. This is the button on the right is the one you want to hit. So we're going to play Lola's Melody, the one that her grandmother taught us earlier.
So it's a trick.
It kind of, sort of, yeah.
Oh, Nintendo. You love making your games tricky.
Secrets and lies.
Well,
Secrets
it's
everywhere.
It's an illusion.
This is where the mysterious character now tells you have to hit the switch. The trick is you have to hit it when it counts to 3. You're going to see a counter appear above Will's head. When it hits 3, that's when you have to hit the switch. If you hit it too soon or too late, it won't work. If you do it right, the door appears.
And otherwise, nothing happens?
Otherwise, it'll just reset and you'll have to start over again.
Oh, so it's just annoying.
It is, a little bit. Yeah, it's too bad. Now, right now, I will not be able to hit that switch with my flute. My flute does not have a long enough range, so we're going to have to fix that.
So we're going to make it a telescopic flute. Kind of like Gene Rayburn's microphone in Match Game. It goes short and it goes real long.
Now what it is, you have to attack that little snake guy there, and that opens this up, and dark space. Now, you're gonna notice something here. There's gonna be a second statue there. That is Frieden, the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be our Henshin, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Will has transformations.
And his parents going to turn us into a god.
In more than one way, sir, I can promise you. Now, unfortunately, the second one you don't get till really late, so the majority of the time you're either playing as Will or Frieden.
But I'm guessing most of the time they're just going to play as Frieden anyways, just for the sake of killing most enemies.
And for the most part, yeah, but there are instances where you are going to have to use Will for puzzle elements. Again, very Zelda-esque in that nature. Now, the cool thing about Frieden, his sword is a longer reach, it is much more powerful, and he's got his stats are a little bit better. So yeah, you are right that you're going to be wanting to play most of the dungeons as Frieden whenever you can. But there are times where you will have to go back to Will.
For plot purposes and puzzle purposes, I'm sure.
For puzzle purposes mainly, and yeah, of course, during plot sequences. You only use Frieden in dungeons. You'll never use him like for story elements or anything like that.
I stab you!
Oh, God. Gotta love those enemies that leave behind something for you to finish off.
Oh god, it's another Aquaman the terrorist! Run! Silence! Kill you!
These guys trying to lose their head over this, though.
Yeah, you can see I'm having a much easier time killing these baddies now.
You know, it is a shameful thing. They lost their head. A careless man who did wind up dead.
More booing.
Yeah, we thought T-Dub was going to be the comedy relief, and now here comes Matty. Now, if you go to the left here, don't go to the right, because if you go to the left, you'll get the second to last red jewel of the dungeon.
And Sure, that some red jewels you can only get one in your first visit, then they disappear.
Well, it's more of the fact that you only get one shot through the dungeon, and you really won't have any reason to go back. And in some cases, you will reach a point of no return where you can't go back. So you want to make sure you get all the red jewels on your first run through.
Because I would imagine that if you miss that jewel on your first playthrough here, it'll be a pain in the ass just to return.
Mm-hmm. Now, at this point, you no longer need to be freed, and you've killed all the enemies. You're at the end of the dungeon, so you automatically change back to Will. And here's where we'll find the last jewel. Even though it's in that barrel, you have to go all the way around and get it from this side to get it. I don't know why it does that.
Because it's SNES?
I'm guessing it has something to do with the hitbox.
Probably. By the way, there's that dandelion I was telling you about. Meet Lily.
Clever.
You're going to be seeing more of her as we go along. She's, like you said, she's kind of like Navi. She does follow you through most of the dungeons and gives you advice. Sometimes she won't always be there, but in most cases she will be. And yes, even though it looks like a guy, it is a girl.
Japan! The most androgynous of countries.
Yeah. Now, I didn't show this room earlier, but you could go down here before you go to the dungeon, and make note of that particular barrel right there, that open barrel. You're going to be seeing that come up again in a minute.
All right, I'm going to write that down. Open barrel.
Open sesame.
All right, now take a look at this. The guard, he's asleep.
How sweet to sneak into the princess's room.
Yeah, but look, take a look at this. His nickname, Old Snorehead.
That's what he's ashamed of?
His nickname is Old Snorehead because he falls asleep.
Hey, lady, you notice that the main character in Hamlet... Spoilers, Matty! Shakespeare!
Spoilers.
Thank you, River.
So now we're getting ready to leave the castle. Before we leave, we gotta come prepared. So if you try to leave the castle before doing this, she'll tell you to go back. You gotta go to this open barrel, and look at what the text says here. You found a large, yummy roast leg of yak.
Delicious!
Epic food!
Right?
Wait a minute. It's epic? It's a meal? Oh crap, where's the sauce, boss? Bacon strips, bacon strips, bacon strips.
Alright, so now basically you and Kara are now running away from home.
On an epic adventure that will be epic.
So we're going to head back to South Cape for a quick little visit at our home before we head out on our grand journey. And with that, we've pretty much reached the end of the part. So next time on Illusion of Gaia, we're going to be heading off. We're going to be seeing what's happening back at home. And I think the story's going to start really picking up. So we'll see you guys next time here on the RVT Game Crew.
I mean, sauce?